Good morning, everybody. Glenda Mollet here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I am called the Craft Room Stamper, and I'd love to welcome you today to my craft room to create a cute card. We're going to be making this card using the Sweet Storybook bundle. Now, I do have my tablet set up today so I can watch out for comments, and I'm just checking to make sure that I'm oriented properly, because last week, yeah, it wasn't a good thing. There we are. Okay, we're oriented, and I'm going to find the post. Apparently I can't find it. Let's just update this. Uh-oh, just dropped all my notes. Okay, I don't know where it is on my tablet, and I'm not going to waste the time. So I have it on my computer, which is to the side. So I will try to keep an eye on. If you have a comment, I'd love to hear it. Okay, let's get busy. So first off, we're going to do a little bit of business, because last week I said anybody that placed a $60 order using my current host code, I would ship out card kits to you. Those are on their way. I mailed them yesterday. And I also said, if you like, shared, and comment on my post, that I would send one lucky winner a package of rhinestones. So Betty is going to be receiving some lovely rhinestones in the mail. Thanks, Betty. And I know your address, so I can just do it right away. Put that to the side. Okay, so this week, I have a couple of things happening. The first one is I posted a picture of some of my retiring sets. There's a lot of them. I'm going to have lots and lots of room to add new products in with it from the new catalog in June. So go to my post on in my craft room Facebook page, and I've pinned at the top a post showing that picture. And if you comment and put a guess in there, then I'm going to do a draw for one person to get some beautiful artisan pearls. Now let me see. This is what I keep my embellishments in. So one lucky person is going to win that. That's for this week. Just let me go to that pinned thing to make sure I don't. Okay, so the one that is the closest, that guesses closest to how many retiring sets I have, and awesome if you can get it right on, will win this package of artisan pearls. But everybody who comments, I'm going to put everybody's names in a draw, and I'll choose one winner. And somebody's going to win some lovely Stampin' Up product. I haven't figured that part out yet, but I will. So there's the pearls for next week. The voting or the guessing is open until Wednesday, April the 24th. So get your guesses in. And this week, if you place an order of $60 or more using my current host code, everybody's name is going to go into a draw, and someone is going to win this package of ribbon. It's the All My Love combo pack ribbon, so there's actually 2 spools of ribbon in here. Lovely lipstick and Grapefruit Grove. The lovely lipstick one has a white edge, and the Grapefruit Grove one is satin. So one person is going to win rolls of ribbon, and that's for placing an order of $60 or more using this host code. I do have, I've got 2 classes coming up. One of them is next Wednesday, and we're going to be playing with the Stampin' Blends and learning how to blend with them. I've used them on this card, but I didn't blend with them. And I guess I should have gone and gotten the cards that we're making, but they're down at the other end of the house and I didn't. So I'll post them in the comments below. So let me make a note of that. Post blends cards in comments. So if you would like to join us, you still have until Friday to let me know, and then I'll start prepping. I could probably extend that to Sunday because I won't be prepping until Monday anyways. But I also have what I'm calling a Stamp-A-Lot class. So we'll move this one. There's 5 cards to choose from, and you can come and make as many cards as you want. The open house type thing starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you can stay until 4 and do as many cards as you want. So this one was inspired by Linda Wesley, and it uses the boho backgrounds and dandelion wishes, and both of these stamp sets are going to be in the new catalog. It also uses the Petal Burst stamp or embossing folder, and it's going to be retiring. The next one, I'm just going to open this up. The next one is a Glenda Mollet original. It uses the Nature's Poem designer paper, which is retiring, and the Rooted in Nature stamp set, which is not retiring. And the beautiful leaves trinkets, and they are retiring. This one is inspired by Judy Gilson. Hi, Judy. And it also uses the Rooted in Nature stamp set. This is another Glenda Mollet original, and it uses some of the beautiful laser cut designer paper. Now this one is retiring, but there'll be a new one in the catalog that has a shimmer to it. Oh, it's so pretty. So this is double-sided. It's vanilla on one side and white on the other, and I've used the white side. And the last card you have to choose from is from Carrie Timms. It was cased from Carrie Timms, and it uses the Varied Vases bundle, which is the stamp set and the punch, and it also uses the lovely floral embossing folder. This bundle these products are going to be in the new catalog, but they're not going to be bundled anymore. So if you would like to join us, contact me. The cutoff date for that, I believe, so that will be on Friday, August the 26th, or Saturday, August 27th. You can come any day, and the cutoff date, let's see, Sunday the 21st. Okay, so I'll put these away out of my sight, and we'll get on with the card we're making today. Sweet Storybook bundle. I saw it when I first got this catalog last June. I absolutely loved it, and then I completely forgot to order it. But I finally ordered it and made this cute card. Now this bundle is not making it into the new catalog. All bundles are being discontinued, which just means that you can't save the 10% on them anymore. But this one, the products are also going, the stamp set and the dies. And this designer paper was from Celebration. I had a bunch of it left, and I thought, why not use it? Because it goes so good with the card. So on page 160 of the annual catalog, you'll see the Sweet Storybook stamp set and the Sweet Storybook dies. Let me see if... Oh, Storybook Scene dies. So from now while supplies last, or until June the 3rd, you can get this bundle for $58.50. So if you want to get in my drawing to win the ribbon, all you have to do is add a package of dimensionals or some Tombow or some snail adhesive, and your name will go in the draw to possibly win that lovely bundle of ribbon. Okay, so this is a photopolymer stamp set. I'm just going to move it over. Oops. Don't you love the grid paper? I do. It's so pretty. Okay, so sometimes photopolymer stamps are difficult to use because they have a die that's dedicated to cutting them out, which this one is for the leaves here. Sometimes you don't get it lined up properly and it won't cut. So what I do is I put my die, and this is the cutting edge, so I put cutting edge down, and then I place the stamp inside the die and line everything up. See how easy it is just to line it up like that? And then just take your block and put your block down on top. And then you can pick up the stamp, and the stamp is going to be exactly where the die is, so it'll be easy to cut. Now I just used my pokey tool there for half a sec. These are retiring as well. They won't be in the new catalog, but never fear, we will have our take your pick tool, which also has a, I call it a pokey tool, but it's really called a paper piercer, and it has a paper piercer end. But these are still available if you want to order them, and you could add them to your bundle. And there you go. Now we got over $60 and you're cha-ching in my draw. Okay, the recipe. Let me get it off the back of my card. So here's the recipe. The ink we're using is Old Olive, Real Red, Soft Suede, and Memento. And then the blends, the Crumb Cake Combo, Dark Old Olive, Dark Real Red. And then I'm using an Old Olive marker for the inside. Thick Whisper White cardstock. Happiness Blooms dots. And I'll show you those in a minute. The Painted Seasons designer paper, or any designer paper will work. The Sweet Storybook stamp set and Storybook Scenes dies. And then the sentiment is from Cake Soiree, which is also retiring. And then on the inside it's a piece of Whisper White because I like balancing my cards. So here's the card. And there's the inside. So I've used the regular Old Olive marker around the inside, and I stamped the mushroom and colored it as well, and it matches the envelope. Okay, so here's the stamp set and dies. People ask me how I know which stamp set goes with what dies. When I get a stamp set, I number it, because then when I'm writing my recipe out, I put the number in, I know exactly where to find it. Alphabetical doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I'm a numbers person, that's probably why. So there's I put the number on the stamp set, and then I put the number on the dies as well, so I know which stamp set it coordinates with. And then this 7 in brackets here, that means there's 7 dies in this set. So when I'm finished a class, I make sure that all 7 dies are back in there, and hopefully I won't lose any. These are the Happiness Blooms enamel dots, which we're going to use, and you can see the little yellow dots here. They come in these 5 colors. I love them. They're gorgeous. These are retiring as well. Apparently this whole card is retiring or retired. Okay, so those are the Happiness Blooms enamel dots. The kit. Let's start with the kit. Now I still have 2 3 kits available to give away. So I think along with that order, I'll just ship you off a kit as well. If you place an order for over $60, you'll get your name in the draw for the ribbon, and you'll get a kit in the mail from me to make this card, including the designer paper. So there's my card base. This is the inside piece. So I'm just going to put that inside so I don't get mixed up. My inside pieces usually have an X on the bottom. That means it's inside, because sometimes the ones on the front aren't the same size. And then there's 2 pieces here, and I think this is, let's see, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And one is to cut the center out of this layer, and the other one is to stamp the leaves and die cut them. Then we have this piece. Oh, apparently there's 2 pieces. This piece that also has an X, and that means it's inside. So for this card, it means it goes inside where the die cut is. This is for the mice, and this is for your sentiment. So the first thing we can do is put our designer paper on. Once again, forgot to bring my snail. So let's just stick some Tombow on there. Right, now I'm going to use my grid paper to line this up so that I get it straight across. And I always cut these a bit bigger than necessary because I don't like to have white showing on the edge. And then after they're on and dry, I'll just snip off any excess. Okay, so let's put the envelope and that to the side. And this is the one we're going to stamp the mushroom on. I know what that second piece is for, because I want to show you 2 different ways to color this mushroom. So I'm using Memento, and you just do a little push and twist thing with Memento because it's not a foam pad, it's a fabric pad. And this just kind of goes, you want it down a little bit more to the bottom because it's going to go in behind. There we are. So I'll stamp this one at the same time because I want to show you a couple of different ways to color this. I used my Stampin' blends because I really like the way they color, but the stamp set also comes with a stamp that you can color the top of the mushroom. All right, so where's that stamp? Here's the stamp. I haven't used this one yet, so I just spit when I don't have water. Going to stain your stamp. All reds stain photopolymer stamps. All of them do. So you might see my head in this because I'm just trying to line this up around the holes and the edges. There we go. And then you just rub it, and there you go. Perfect. So that's one way to color it, and I'm not die cutting this one, so it's done. And I'm going to put the red away. The other way is to use the dark real red Stampin' blends, and I'm not going to be shading this. I wanted it all to be the same color. You just have to be careful that how close to the edge you go. If you see little bits of white, just wait, because sometimes they disappear because this ink is meant to get into the cardstock, so it continues to run after you've moved on from that spot. So I just put a quick layer and avoid the holes. This There. And that gets rid of all the coloring lines to color your mushroom. Now this is done. I'm going to put it to the side. The next is this layer here. So the die set comes with this die, which cuts out the leaves. It comes with this die that cuts out the cute little mice, and this one that cuts out the center. So this matches here like this. You just have to pay attention to the arrow on this die. To see the arrow here, that means that goes to the up part when you're trying to line things up. Now it doesn't cut that out. It makes a little bit of an impression on your cardstock, but you're not using that piece anyways. All right, getting my magnetic platform here for my big shot. You probably heard that Stampin' Up! Will no longer be carrying the big shot, which means the magnetic plate, the precision plate, the embossing mats, and the cutting plates are all going. The cutting plates are sold out. We can't get them anymore, but the rest of the supplies are still there. So if you haven't gotten your magnetic plate yet, why not? That's my question. And you can still order it. So I've put this on in the center of that piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to run it through. Stampin' Up! Has discontinued the big shot, but they don't have anything to replace it yet. That's coming, but it hasn't happened yet. So there we go. That's the center we cut out. So that's that piece, and you see, maybe you can see that right there. It does a little indent, but this is scrap anyways. You can still cut. If you're going to do a circle sentiment, you could use that for the circle sentiment. Okay, so that's that piece done. Over to the side. This one, we're going to stamp the leaves. Now, my stamp has little purple stuff on there, and I don't know what it's from. I've been trying to get it off, and it won't come off, but it does affect the stamp. It just looks kind of funny. So this is old olive ink I'm using. And remember, this is a photopolymer stamp, so you don't want to go tap, tap, tap too fast. You want to give it a chance to transfer some ink from the ink pad onto your stamp. There we are. Nicely inked. And we're going to stamp this in the middle. And then rub my fingers over it to transfer the ink from the stamp onto the cardstock. There we are. Now I'm going to my magnetic platform again. And line up the die, and because we took the time to line the stamp up with the die before it went on the block, this should be not too difficult to do. But as usual, the longer you take to line it up, the better your die cut image is going to be. All right, and this goes through the big shot. And we'll just pop it out of the die. This comes out in one piece, and you can save that and use the inside. And then these come out in two separate cuts. It was funny, in my class yesterday, the first lady to do the die cutting, you should have seen her face when it came out in two pieces. I guess I should have explained that, that it came out in two pieces. I'm just removing the little pieces that stick because it makes it easier for the next time to use that die if all of those little pieces are not there anymore. get a better cut image. Okay. Just looking for my dimensionals because I want them to be popped up over top of that. So these are done. I'm going to put those to the side. Now we're going to stamp the mice. And I'm just getting my Stamparatus here. And I'm going to put something underneath the plate so I can ink it up. Now it doesn't matter which one you stamp first. I'm going to stamp the outline first. So this is what it's going to look like when I'm done. I'm going to stamp the outline image first. And I've made a little jig here of where to put my cardstock. And I'm just going to check and make sure everything is good and it's going to miss. So if you put something underneath your plate here to support it when you're inking, you get better ink coverage. And I'm just doing the little push and twist thing because it's memento again. And put it down, rub, not forcefully, but you want a good amount of pressure on there to transfer the ink, especially since we have to put our magnet so close. And then when you go to remove it, gently lift it so it lets go of the cardstock. And see, I didn't get it enough there. Don't you love the Stamparatus for this? Because it's exactly the same spot. And I can ink up and redo. Gently release. There we go. It's exactly the same spot. Put that plate to the side. Now, I have one of these lined up, but I'm going to show you how to line them up properly. So you take the side that you're going to stamp with and put it down, and then line it up with your mouse. And this is just like die cutting. The longer you take to line it up, the better it's going to be. For some reason, these stamps stick to my fingers and they move when I don't want them to, so I just use my paper piercer to, to move it around. And you're lining it up with the outside image of the image that you've already stamped. So I pay attention to his ear, and I pay attention, pick two spots, and just get it lined up there. There we go. Okay, and the other one, I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure it's where it's supposed to be. Now you're probably going, gasp, she's poking her stamp set, but I'm not, because I'm not putting any pressure on it. Just going to move that over just a tad. There we go. Okay, so now that we have them all lined up, then you just close your plate and put pressure on, and then gently release. And it's all ready to stamp. Okay, this is where I pray, because I'm on camera and it's difficult to make sure that everything is lined up properly. And I'm just inking up my stamps. Now this is soft suede. It's one of the new pads, so it's a foam pad. Didn't quite get enough. There we go. Okay, that'll do. And you can see I got some ink over here, but that's not going to transfer anywhere because that doesn't touch the paper. The only thing it touches the paper is where your stamp is. Push good and hard down. Transfer the ink. And gently release. Come on. There you go. And I didn't get it enough down in that corner and right at the bottom, so I'm going to give it a good push and release it. And there you go. And if you didn't like that mottling, you can re-ink it and do it all over again. But I'm happy with the way it turned out. Now, magnetic platform again. And the die for the mice. And don't forget, if you can push here, you need to turn your plate over. Now, this is going to be really important now because we can't get these plates anymore. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. And I'm using his tail. I'm using their tails and their ears to line it up properly. And put the other plate on top. And run it through the big shot, and we're done. So there, oops. There we are. The only thing left to do, put that on the pile, is to stamp our sentiment. And I stamped it in real red. And it's from the Cake Soiree bundle. Make sure I got some ink on there. Sorry for my head. I have to line it up here. I don't want to rock it because I don't want it to transfer any ink that I might have around the edges. There we go. My scissors. And I'm just going to... Oh! There's a paper clip magnetized to my scissors. Cut that off. And I don't want the tails quite that long, so I'll just snip that a bit. Then to do the flagged end, go down the center and then cut to the center from each corner. And then you have, if you've done your center properly, you will have an even flagged ends. Okay, we're done. Now we can assemble. Oh, except I didn't stamp the inside of the envelope, and I might as well do that while I'm at it. And we're going to do that with the mushroom. And my scrap paper, because I don't want to make all my pretty grid paper all inky. And I'm only stamping part of it. There we go. And the envelope. Put that memento off to the side. So it's almost Easter. Yesterday was our children's birthday. We have twin boys. They're quite old. Way older than their mother, because I can't possibly be old enough to have children that old. And it's surprising the number of people who said to me, I can't believe I didn't know you had twins. Well, it's because I don't use, when I talk about them, I don't say they're twins. We tried really hard when they were growing up to give them their own individualness, I guess you could say. I'm using that stamp again just to color the tops because it's quicker. And apparently we must have done a good job because a lot of people don't know they're twins if they see them separately. If you see them together, oh yeah, you know they're twins. There we are. And take the old olive marker and just go around the edge. Hold on to it firmly. Hold your pen this way, not this way, because see, this way you're going to have a tendency to go there and you could ruin your piece of cardstock. So I just go hold it like this and just run around the outside. And I always start from the middle and go each way. It just seems to work better for me. Okay, now let's get rid of that ugly paper. So that's done. And for the inside in the envelope, I'm not going to color the rest of the mushroom, but for the front I'm going to. So this is going to be blending, and my preferred end of these pens is the bullet end. This is the light one, and I'm going to put a coat of the light color down first. So I go in a circular motion. That gets not lots of ink down where you want it. And you can see I'm not doing the center yet because I want it to be lighter. So this is the dark one, and I'm going to put some highlights there, and then where the grass is, and a little bit where the dots are. And then you go back in with your light one again in a circular motion and blend them all together. And I'm still just going over the same spot. I haven't done the center yet. And then I just go very lightly over the center and go along the edges of that so that that blends in as well. And that just leaves a bit of a highlight in the center of your mushroom. There you go. Alternatively, if you wanted to, you could use your lifter and lift some of the color in the center. And then I'm just going to put some Old Olive. This is the, which one is this? This is the dark Old Olive. Let's do the grasses. And while I'm at it, I'm going to do the grass that's underneath the little micey people. Now you don't have to do that step if you don't want to. And then we're going to put some Wink of Stella on the top of the mushroom. Now the one, if you stamped yours, be really careful because Wink of Stella will reactivate the ink. So you just make sure you clean your Wink of Stella once you've gone over top of the real, if you use the real red classic ink pad to color it. And to clean it, it's real easy. You just go like that and it cleans it. But I didn't use that one. That's this one. Let's see if I can show you what I mean real quick. So this is the stamped one. So see how it reactivates the ink, and it doesn't matter how long you've had it stamped, it will reactivate the ink because that's water-based and this is water-based. And the blends markers are alcohol-based. So that's how you can get away with it. Okay, so now this is going to go over top of this and be popped up. And then we're going to put the leaves right on the edge like this, and they match the edge of the center die cut. So they just go on there like that. And then the mice are going to go down there. And then the happy birthday goes on top of the designer paper. So now I'm going to cut off those little excess strips of designer paper like this. There we are. So that's done. And now we need the dimensionals. And I want to put them relatively close to the edge so it keeps it solid once we've put it on top of our mushroom. And then around the edge as well. There we go. So now remove all the liners from the dimensionals. There's a lot of them, but better to have a lot and have your card nice and secure than use just a couple of them and have things collapsing on you. It's never fun to have a card that collapses in the center. Okay. Now I see a couple of spots that I'm going to add a couple more. Ah, it's sticking to me. Guess I should have put these on before I remove the rest of the liners. This is definitely overkill, but that's all right. When I first started out, I was using just a couple of dimensionals, and I wasn't successful. My cards were collapsing in the middle, and the sentiment was wobbling. So then I started using more and getting much better result. Okay, now because those are hanging over, I have to grab my silicone mat here so that they don't stick to the paper. And then I'm going to take one of these, because I have to make sure which is the top. Otherwise, we'll be really in trouble when we go to put the leaves on. Okay, so it goes this way. I could have put an arrow in there, but I didn't. There we are. So now that's going to stick to that. And because it's on my silicone mat, it's not sticking anywhere else. So we'll put it on the card now. And there are some dimensionals that are going to make contact, but I'm just, oops, using this tape that I'm not supposed to be using. And where did my dimensionals go? I just want to put one here to hold that up. All right, card base. And you can see on this one I've brought it down a bit over top of the designer paper. Oop. That's not straight. Come on, lift up. So wasn't that horrible news about Notre Dame in Paris burning? Wow. But it's so awesome that the world is coming together to provide funds to have it rebuilt. It just goes to show you that we are not always fighting. Sometimes we actually can work together. All right, getting more dimensionals to pop up the leaves now. I have never seen Notre Dame Cathedral, but oh my, that would be a wonderful thing to do. All right, now I want a couple of long thin strips for the pieces that are sticking out. So I'm just going to cut from the edges of this. This is a finicky part, which is, this part's probably not necessary. You could get away with not putting these strips on, but like I've said, I'm OCD and I'll know that it's not working, not attached properly. There, that one's done. And we'll just do this one. And I want one piece for there. One piece for there. And one more. Oops, that one stuck to the scissors. One more strip for here. Okay. And removing the liners from the dimensionals. So what are you doing for Easter? Are you going to be celebrating with family? Are you going to be going away? Easter's around our children's birthday is always the fun part. When we lived up north, a lot of northern BC, a lot of times there was still snow on the ground for their birthday. And a couple of times there was even still snow on the ground for my birthday, which is coming up next month. I might just have to have an ordering special for my birthday. Being as I'm going to be 23. Yeah, it's my 30-something 23rd annual birthday. How could I possibly have children that are older than I am? I can just see people who know me well will be rolling their eyeballs. It's like, who the heck? Why does she think she's so young? Okay, there we go. There's the leaves on. Now the mice are going to go right here. So they need to have a couple of dimensionals right close to their bottoms. Like that. So when I put them on here, then they're going to pop up over top of this and be flat on the leaves. And you can see where I've got them there. Like that. Put a little teeny tiny bit of adhesive right at the top of their heads. Alrighty. Get these little doers on here. Oops. Adhesive's in the wrong spot, but that's okay. I'll deal with that later. Now we just have the sentiment left. And I know the sentiment is this one, the liner came off, so I have to use it. I'm putting 3 on here. If you put 1, you'll have a wobbly sentiment. If you put 2, you could have your sentiment collapse in the middle. So I'm doing 3. Now you can put your birthday wherever you want. It could go right over to the side. It can be indented like that one. It can go on this side. It can go in the middle. I'm going to put this one over here like this for something different. Now, at my inside piece, using a bit of Tombow to put it on. Tombow's good. It gives you a couple of seconds to move things around if you don't get them laying straight. There we are. Last step is to add the bling, because a card is never complete without bling. Don't forget this week, if you're placing an online order with me, thank you so much. Use the current host code. I will be sending out the 3 extra card kits I have to the first 3 that place an order. Let's see. And then everybody's name was going to go in a draw to win that beautiful ribbon combo pack. Okay, I put yellow ones on that one. What color shall I use? Let's use some pink ones. There's 3 different sizes of these, so I'm just going to use all 3 sizes. Oops, come on. And one over there. Now you can color these with your blends too if you wanted, so that you could make them match the red. I didn't think to do that, but I'll show you how easy it is. Just take your blends, go over top, and prestidigitation turns it from pink to red. That's it. That's how easy it is. Then you have to let that dry for a couple of seconds before you touch it. Okay, there we are. Card done. There's today's card. And there's the card that we made with the Sunshine Club yesterday at Echo Center. If you live in town and you belong to the Sunshine Club, come down and join us Wednesday mornings at 9 o'clock, just in the room across from the main desk. It's a $2.50 drop-in fee. We make 1 card a week, and we have a lot of fun. Thanks so much for visiting me today in my craft room. Happy Stampin' and Stampin' Smiles. Have a wonderful Easter, and I'll see you all next week. Bye for now.